안녕하세요, 여러분. 한글비즈에 오신 것을 환영합니다. 처음에 오신 분들도 그리고 다시 찾아오신 분들도 모두 환영합니다. Firstly, I want to apologize for not posting content regularly, so sorry about that. But today, we're continuing from where we left off. We're going to learn about Batchim rules. Remember, not all rules can be included in a single video because there are lots of exceptions in Batchims. However, I have included the most common and important ones for you. So, with that said, let's get started. First, let's talk about what is Batchim. Batchim is a consonant placed at the bottom of a syllable. Batchim is also known as the final consonant. There are two ways to write a syllabic block in a word, either using horizontal vowel or a vertical one. Here are some examples. Check and 꽃. In check, the consonant kiok is the Batchim, and in 꽃, the consonant digit is the Batchim. Now you might ask, why are we learning these rules? If they are the same consonants just written at the bottom, then we can pronounce them as they are, right? Wrong. Batchim has its own set of sounds to make pronunciation and speech flow easier and smoother. Now that we have learned why we do this, let's learn how to do it. Let's start with kiok. When kiok appears as a Batchim, that it produces a k sound, not a g sound. When you will be reading these words, it will be chogak, not chogak, but chogak. Similarly, with dokso, it will be dokso, not dokso, dokso. Now it's your turn. Pause the video if you need some time. Read the first word. 국자, 국자. Second word. 수박, 수박. How about this one? 추석, 추석. Last word. 미국, 미국. Here in 미국, you'll be able to clearly distinguish between the g and the g that I was mentioning before. For the upper part, it is g, gu. But for the lower part or Batchim, it's g. So, how we will pronounce it? 미국, 국. The second Batchim that we have is niun. Niun produces the same sound as n, even as the Batchim. So, you will read these words as sun, sun, similar as the n in the top, and 반지, 반지. This one is pretty simple because you do not have to distinguish its original sound to any other sound. So how about you try to read this time again? 준비, 준비. 잔디, 잔디. 간식, 간식. 문제, 문제. Our third consonant is tigit. Tigit will be pronounced as t and not d. Can you see the difference between the pronunciation? T will be pronounced and not d. For example, it will be 묻다, 묻다, not 묻다, 묻다. And 믿다, t, 믿다, not mid다, 믿다. 믿다 will be the correct pronunciation. Now it's your turn to practice. 탔다, 탔다. 얻다, 얻다. 듣다, 듣다. 팠다, 팠다. Don't worry if you're having problems in differentiating the sound. You're a beginner. Over time and over practice, you'll get better. So, Don't give up and keep practicing. Our next Batchim is real. If you remember from the consonant rules, real has two types of sounds depending on the word it appears in. But as a Batchim, it only produces one sound, L. Not R, but L sound. For example, you will read these words as 물, 물, and 선물, 선물. See how it's producing the L sound and not the R sound? Okay, now it's your time to practice. Can you try to read the first word? 달력, 달력. 별, 별. 줄, 줄. 갈, 갈. So as you can see through examples, real as a Batchim only produces the L sound. Now let's move on to our next Batchim. Miem as a Batchim produces the same sound, M. So you'll be reading these words as 몸, top M and the bottom M as well. So 몸 and 곰, 곰. Now it's your turn again. 잠자리, 잠자리. 밤, 밤. 임금님, 임금님. 사람, 사람. Okay, our next Batchim is ieng. Ieng does not produce any sound when it is followed by a vowel. What does that mean? When ieng works as a top consonant, when it is placed on the top and not at the final consonant, then it does not produce any sound. But when ieng is placed at the bottom of a word as a Batchim final consonant, then it produces an ng sound. Ng. So you will read the first word as yang, yang, and the second word as kong. When you're trying to pronounce the ng sound, there will be a little pressure on your throat. So feel that and try to pronounce the sound again. Now it's your turn to practice and master the ieng sound. Now, can you read the first word? 강, 강. 가방, 가방. 자동차, 자동차. 빵, 빵. Now we'll be learning about the Batchim sounds by putting them into groups. Why do you ask? Because they pronounce a similar type of Batchim sounds. For example, 기억, 기역, and 쌍기역 produces the same type of sound, 그, when they are present as a Batchim. Since we've already used 기역 as our Batchim practice, let's use 기역 and 쌍기역 for our practice this time. So the first word is 부엌, 팍, 팍. 해질녘, 해질녘. 탁다, 탁다. See, regardless of the consonants, it's producing the same sound, 그. That's why we group it together. For the next group, we have 티귿, 티읕, 시옷, 쌍시옷, 치읓, and 치읓. Now, when they are present as a Batchim, they pronounce a similar type of sound, which is 뜨. Let's see how. Now, once again, I'm going to remove 티귿 from here because we have already done that. And let's start with 티읕 and 시옷. 팥, 팥. 옷, 옷. 끝, 끝. 씨앗, 씨앗. For 상시옷 and 치읓, it's 같다, 같다. 낫, 낫. 탔다, 탔다. 짙다, 짙다. Now let's practice for 치읓. 탓, 탓. 꽃, 꽃. Now for 비읍 and 피읍, Batchim, they produce similar type of sounds. Like for 비읍, it's b as initial consonant, and for 피읍, it's p. But with the Batchims, you will try to shorten the word. Like when you're trying to speak, you will press your lips tightly, like b, 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 b. Okay? I think you'll be able to understand more when you're trying to read the word. So let's try to pronounce and practice the words. So for piip, you will pronounce sounds as chip, chip, and pop, pop. You're supposed to shorten your lips together. For piip, similarly, yup, yup, and up, up. Now we're going to learn about Hiid Batchim. Hiid, to be very honest, is going to be very difficult from the Batchim rules that you have learned before, because this has 4 rules depending on the consonant that is going to follow after Hiid as a Batchim. For example, the first rule says that when Hiid is followed by kiok, tigut, piup, and chiut, then you will have to remove the Hiid from the Batchim, and these kiok, tigut, piup, and chiut will be converted into kiuk, tiut, piup, and sangchiut. Well, it will be quite confusing for you to understand now, but let me show you how you'll do it. Let's see the examples first. As you can see, we have 2 sections. One is for the writing, one is for the speaking. As you can see in the writing section, we have written it as cho, da, but when you will be speaking it, it will be chota. So you will remove the Hiid Batchim, and that will pronounce as a ta sound, tiut sound. Similarly with na, da, it will be not ta, removing the Hiid Batchim. And similar with the otoke, it will be otoke, removing the Hiid Batchim again and changing the kiok into kiut. Similarly with the last word, it will be 그렇다, 그렇다. So you will not pronounce any hu sound there. It will be just 그렇다. Now, for the second rule, when Hiid is followed by ang, which means that ang will be followed by a vowel. So, typically it means when Hiid is followed by any vowel like a, o, u, any vowel, then Hiid will be removed and only the vowel will produce the sound. Not the ng, but the vowel will produce sound. Let me show you examples so you're able to understand clearly. So as you can see in the writing, again, we have a writing section and a speaking section. This will not be pronounced as choha. It will be pronounced as choa. So you will remove the Hiid again from here, and the vowel that comes with the consonant will produce sound. For example, if there will be not, here we have only I examples, but if there will be any other vowel, then that vowel will produce sound. Now for the second example, again, it will be not naha, but na, naa. Similarly with the last word, ta'a, ta'a, not taha, but ta'a. Okay? For the third rule, when Hiid is followed by nien, then the Batchim Hiid will be converted into nien. So it will pronounce a nu sound at the Batchim and in the following consonant as well. There will be no Hiid sounds. Let's see the example one more time. Again, writing and speaking section. Oh, I wanted to give you a disclaimer. The writing section is how you write it, and for the speaking section is how you're supposed to pronounce it. So do not get confused and do not try to write it the way it is in the speaking section. You do not change the writing, The speaking section is only to give you a reference to how to read it when hid as a Batchim comes and follows different type of consonants. Okay? So the first example we have is 다는, 다는. But it will be not 다는, it will be 다는. Both at the hid place and the nian place, both will produce the same nian sound. 다는. Similarly with the second word, 쌓는. And the last one, 좋네. This one is going to be pretty easy because you just have to remove the hid Batchim and put the nian Batchim. Now for the final rule for the hid Batchim, when hid is followed by shiod, then the hid as a Batchim will be removed and shiod will produce sang shiod sound. Let's see the examples so that you'll be able to understand pretty clearly what I mean. For the first word, 타소, it is not 타소 but 타소. How? You remove the hid Batchim under the ta, like the hid Batchim. You remove that, and then the shiod will become a sang shiod, a strong sound. Not taso, but taso. Taso. Similarly with the same word, it will be not naso, but naso. Naso. So. Strong su sound. And then 조소, 조소, 조소. Okay? This is the last rule of this whole Batchim segment. This is one of the most important rules, so please pay attention. Whenever there is a Batchim, any Batchim that we have learned so far, any consonant working as a Batchim, and it is followed by a ing, that means it is followed by a vowel, then the Batchim will go replace the ing and it will combine with the vowel and produce sound. Confused? Okay, let's see the examples and you'll be able to understand perfectly. As you can see, again, there is a writing and there is a speaking form. In the writing form, as you can see, it is said or it is written 어른이. But here what you will do is that the n will replace the ing that is followed and it will create a ni sound. So 어린이 will become 어린이. You know, when we're trying to speak in English, there is an abbreviation when you're trying to speak like I am or I am. Similarly, it is not 어린이 but 어린이. Similar with the second example, it is not 떡볶이, it will be 떡볶이, 떡볶이. You know, because when you're reading fast, the g sound will go on the top. It will replace the ing and it will combine with the vowel and create the sound. 떡볶이. Now for the last word, the rule is a bit different because the Batchim is ing as well and the following consonant is ing as well. Now here, what you're going to do is that you're going to produce the Batchim sound ing and the e sound. So it will be 웅덩이, not 웅더이, but 웅덩이. The ing Batchim will produce sound here. 와, 드디어 Batchim으로 끝났어요. 자, like I've mentioned in the beginning of the video, these are not the only Batchim rules. We have some other rules that can be considered as exceptions, but these are the general rules that will follow throughout your reading practice or when you're trying to read Hangul or paragraphs in Korean. 그럼 저는 여기까지. 다음에 또 만나요. 바이바이.